Yo family, what you telling me? Now it feels good to be back in the market. So I took off last week to focus on some other things. I knew that if I wanted to become profitable in day trading again, then I'm gonna have to make some changes. And the clear and obvious change for me was my sleeping pattern. So beforehand, I was going to the gym in the night, waking up late, and that just was never gonna work to become profitable because it's just not ideal, and that's just personally for me. So that the first change I knew I needed to make was sort my sleeping pattern out. So now I'm waking up at 9 in the morning, going to bed 11 to 12, then I'm having some breakfast, then I'm going gym, then I'm getting back, and then I was like, boom, I've been gym today, right? Make sure I'm getting my calories in, make sure I'm getting my protein in, and then I'm getting back to it. It's better. So another thing is I'm tracking my calories, making sure I get my correct nutrients in it each day. Just like little things like that, bro. It makes a difference genuinely because now I'm more disciplined outside my life. I'm going to be more disciplined inside the markets. I've bought a 100k account, so usually I would be getting last time I had a 50k, but every time I've ever got a payout is with a 100k. 100k is where I know, 100k is where I was raised, you know what I mean? So it's like my 100k is just you a 50k, obviously I'm just used to it, bro. So I think, to keep nice structured system, I'm going to stick to what I know. Going to make it easier for myself because that's what trading's about, making it as easy as you can for yourself. And that is why I've gone for a 100k account. I've just gone for one. I was tempted to get multiple because I am extremely confident that I'm going to be passing this evaluation and then getting a payout. Not because I'm cocky, but because it's just, what I believe, and it's better to believe that than not to believe that anyway. But, it's just how everything's set up, how everything's going. It's like, there's no way I don't get a payout because at the end of the day, I have had multiple payouts. I've run it up multiple times, so I clearly know what I'm doing. And I'm back to it, bro. That's all there is, bro. Nothing's changed. The only thing that's changed is the date. And if anything, I'm a better person than I was beforehand. I'm more disciplined. I'm, overall a better person. Psychologically, mentally. They're both the same things. Physically. So, that's what it's about, bro. Anyways, that's what I did last week. So I took the week off. I always think it's smart. Don't have to trade. I'd rather not rush the process because in trading, the more you try to rush the process, the longer it's going to take. So, that's what it's about. Right, I'm a lock in on the market now. I'm a lock in on the market. So I've marked out some things. I've marked out Asian lows, previous day lows. I've marked out London highs, same on this. On the higher time frame, we go to where, there's going to be a major weak imbalance. Like, let me sneeze, what's that? Right, I don't know why I paused to sneeze, but I did. We got a major, possible weak imbalance, which is insane. And as you can clearly see on the S&P 500, we are at all-time highs. I'm pretty sure anyway. Well, that's for showing, so scale down to the day, this fair value gap got respected. I would say I'm bullish for this week. It would make sense. We got some low resistance liquidity for Nasdaq, and then we can just continue up. It's looking good. The only thing that's a bit about today is that on the 4 hour we haven't got any key points of retracement to. We've made this high, low. We're looking to push past that high is I suppose the target for today. Also, the target being all-time highs, and when you're at all-time highs, you want to be looking for bullish, really. Anyway, scale down to the hour time frame. Now, you could technically class it as a break of structure in this, but you scale up to the 4 hourly, and it just shows a different story. It shows it's just a slight retrace. and you've got to understand that the higher time frame holds higher power. Doesn't mean I'm rushing to take a trade today. If anything, I'll be honest, I'm actually the opposite. I'm not rushing to take a trade today because I want to think logically, right? Logically, I am not extremely confident on where price will go, and therefore, if I'm not extremely confident, then I don't need to take a trade. I'm sure there's going to be people that will take trades and win today. It's going to be people that will take trades and lose today. But, you know, I don't want to be losing trades. You know, obviously it's probability is going to happen, but I don't want to be losing trades. I want to be winning trades or not taking trades. You know, so that's what it's about. I know shouldn't be dragged into the market, but unfortunately it is. So, the chances of anyone even seeing this are slim because at the minute no one really gives a fuck, which is fair enough. But I'm just talking out loud, and at the end of the day, if there is one person who watches this, I want to talk to you as if I would talk to a million people. You know, I want to treat you with the same level of effort. An external influence I've got for me today is that my two sisters are up and they've got kids. Now, I know you're thinking, how the fuck does that affect you and the market? But it's like, you know, they're all out there, you know what I mean? And it's like, that's basically it, you know? So, I don't think it stopped me from being in a logical, objective state of mind, but, you know, if they keep running fucking in ya, I've told them, don't come in here, I'm working. But they just don't listen, do they? Do they? When do they ever listen? Be honest, you lot. When do they ever listen? Right, anyways, another thing as well. SMT. Between Asian lows. And another thing I loved off Asian lows actually. Keep scaling down time frames now. I want to be marking out fair value gap. There's a small one, but I don't think it's much worth marking out. And we've just retraced and respected that one, to be fair. 15 minute. Respected that. So this 15 minute got tapped into. That's been tapped into and respected. 5 minute, I mean, that's looking insane now. So we can scale on to the 15 and the 5. 5 minute, like I said, is looking insane now. 3 minute, I do like looking on the 3 minute. It is good. 3 minutes clear dumps on both pairs. 2 minute. Sweep of the lows. Sweep the lows. That was an inverse fair value gap on the 5 minute as well, which I did like the look of. It was, you know, sweep London low, Asian lows, SMT, inverse fair value gap. It was looking good. You know, maybe a retrace into that would have been nice, but clearly not. It's clearly been inversed. So I'm going to delete Asian lows and delete this 5 minute imbalance just because it's out the way, looking clean. And then we get down to the 1 minute, I suppose. Like I said, I ain't in no rush to take no trade, bro. Another slow time frame SMT. But you know, we could go further into the retrace on the higher time frame before we start scaling up. We got some lovely low resistance liquidity we could hit, but that is sort of a high resistance liquidity now. High resistance high. You know, that high is a bit harder to get past. You know, tons of highs where tons of stop losses are. You know, the market's looking for stop losses. And the truth is as well, the market can get a lot of stop losses if it goes down. understanding where stop losses are is key, I suppose. Gotta look both ways, haven't I? But at the minute we have got an SMT with them. Bloody hell, my chart's starting to look a bit messy now. Watching the lower time frames. So you can hear them being little shites. Well, it feels good to be back in the market though, can I just say. I am trying to be more of a lower, calmer tone of voice. Because if I start talking loud, they're going to hear me talking. And then we know where that leads. I'm just going to pause. I don't want to waste time, to be fair. So I think it's been about 20 minutes now. I mean, looking at this price action, I mean, you can, like, it's hard to look at that and think, you know, the chop and think, oh yeah, it's good to take a trade today. And even on this side, I mean, it's even worse looking on this side. It's just not clean price action today so far. We're at the 3 o'clock mark now. I usually give it, you know, there's a good opportunity for price to, you know, start moving clean in the next 30 minutes, hour and 30 minutes. But it's my first day back after about a week and a half off. So, you know, I want to be, logically speaking, I think 3:30, probably 3:20 is my cut-off time. At the end of the day, I'm just waiting. But at this point, I am more against trading than for taking a trade, because terrible looking price action so far. I mean, now we're starting to see something. That's why I've unpaused. We're starting to see we've broke past these highs. But, you know, it's just incredible chop. So that's all we've really had today so far. Anyways, I'm going to pause, come back, see what happens. So now we're getting into a situation where a long may be smart due to a few things. Equilibrium has clearly been disrespected, so we've clearly gone past equilibrium, which is clearly showing that we are going bullish. Possible 1 hour fair value gap being made for the future, you know, multiple inverse fair value gaps, and we've obviously respected that, pushed down, and then we've, you know, chopped for a bit, but then we pushed out of a price range. We're starting to push through some highs, push through that high, then we push through this high. What's happening to this 1 hour fair value gap? There's going to be stop orders up here as well. So if I scale down, probably in this area there's going to be stop losses. So prices are going to push through that. You know, we've got one of the first real confluences I seen was that 1 minute fair value gap being respected, which was clean. So the trade we could take could be on NQ, expecting it to follow with ES, pushing through. How does it do off this fair value gap? What does ES do off this fair value gap? And obviously we've got this one by here. Taking a trade anyway by here. Stops underneath that low. So it has an inverse there, which is realistically all you need to see. So if I'm going to be logical and not to do with any form of emotional trading, something I need to accept is that, one, I could lose this trade right now. I could enter and lose. Another thing I need to accept is that, there's this feeling I've got right now of urgency. It's like, I need to get in. No, I don't. If price is going to continue up, it's going to continue up a lot longer than, go up a year and then, I'm not going for this move. I'm going for this move, and so it doesn't need to be a massive trade, realistically speaking. Respected the 1 minute imbalance, didn't push underneath it on Nasdaq, creating a 5 minute imbalance, 2 minute fair value gap made, now 2 3 minute one being made, very low, there's lots of liquidity. It doesn't need to. So realistically speaking, if I want to be logical, I'm going to take a trade. It's not even going to be much of a risk in the trade as well, realistically. So I'm going to click buy now, and that's from a logical standpoint.
Order filled.
So I've only done 5 micros. Like I said, it isn't actually a lot. And what I would like to do probably is, so we've got this is a key point on ES, higher low. That's the relative higher low, but Nasdaq can be a bit more nasty, I suppose is the word, or like volatile. So if I was going off ES, I've traded on NQ. If I was gonna place my stop loss off ES, I would place it literally there, maybe like at the top of the fair value gap. But because it's NQ, maybe a bit lower. And like I said, there's not actually much. So let me just show you where I've entered for a long. There, bang on the dot, I've entered there. So, like I said, if I was going to be playing off ES, I would be placing the stop loss there. And the take profit would probably be... 1 second. Right, my mother came in my room, my vault. Right. It's like the worst, out of all the times to enter the room, the one time is like I've taken the trade. You know what I mean? So that is 19. So that's... I mean, this trade is such low risk. Holy crap. Didn't realize how low of a risk trade it was. If I put my take profit to London highs, that's only 1,000. When I say only 1,000, 1,000 helps, I suppose, but probably would have wanted more risk than that. But, it hasn't hit my stop loss yet, because I haven't placed one, because there's only $100 in thing, and it's, like I said, it's moving cleaner on ES. Just tap back into that, which being a 2 minute imbalance. I mean, what I would like to see is if we can push up and respect this 2 minute imbalance, then I'm going to place my stop at that low and then leave it there. So can we get some good bullish price action, please? But also, if we close beneath that low now, I think I'm going to place my stop loss at that low, no matter what now, really, because if we close past that low, then it could be definitely retracing into this 5 minute, but it's like, it also has just tapped into the 5 minute technically too, so shouldn't really need to tap back into it twice. It could go further deep into it, might be, but the chances of there being any stop losses in this, I suppose there could be a stop loss there. Lots of stop losses there, because which would be deep in the 5-minute fair value gap, which would be risking not even 500, 470. It's not bad. Stop loss maybe. But like I also said, to see price now push beneath that. But like, no, I think I'm going to close out for the trade at
Order
now.
filled.
Yeah, so I put my stop loss there, and then it's just instantly taking me out. Which would mean I've lost 236 on the day. How do I feel about that? Good question to ask myself. Let me just fill in my journal quickly. I'm going to pause. I'm not going to go anywhere. I'm just going to fill this in quickly. Fill the rest of it in. So I filled in for today. Would I take this trade again? Would I take this trade tomorrow if it appeared again exact same? No. Why? Forced trade. See, it's very easy and very quick to notice what was wrong with the trade. After you've taken it. It's just like the being aware during or before you've taken the trade is where I need it. So it's all good knowing, oh yeah, I know why I've lost because I forced the trade. But that's no good, is it? I need to instead not take the trade, innit? So maybe a good thing for that would be just going on the market and not taking a trade. Just no intentions with taking a trade no matter what, Sort of reinforcing that habit. And another thing, I should have traded the S&P. S&P was moving a lot cleaner, but I decided to trade the NASDAQ. Not the best thinking in the world. I think it was good pointers from the trade that I left straight. As soon as it pushed beneath them lows, I was thinking, right, I need to leave now because I know it's going to be pushing further down. So I've saved myself, $200. That's the only good thing I can take from today's trading session. Other than that, not good trading. Which isn't good. It's not a good way to start the week. But I can't let this affect me tomorrow now. I need to be back in the markets tomorrow, logically thinking. Which is fine, because if I believe that I can do that, then I can do it. Anything's possible. Right, anyways, that's today's trade. Hopefully you traded better than me. I will see you lot tomorrow. Peace out, bro.